The World Junior Hockey Canada's camp roster was named. Leon Draisaitl leads the 3 stars of the month, and Crosby versus McDavid tonight. It's the Hockey Podcast News Pack for Wednesday, December the 1st.
Started off as a PG podcast, but then Devin just kept on dropping shits and fucks, and
I'm just trying to figure out what's in her mouth.
I just want to see him interview Francesco Accoli.
No, he's a good human being, is what he would say about himself, I'm sure.
Who's hosting this thing?
Take charge, Kevin, would you? Jesus.
First time we ever met those guys. That was the major drunken pub argument.
I think you guys are the worst.
I'm going to have to probably watch some Canucks hockey, unfortunately.
Just making friends left, right, and center, and probably some enemies as well.
Tell him to shut up. He needs to hear that every once in a while.
Off to a good start.
All right. We are live.
It's okay to talk when it goes live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hockey Podcast. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at podcast_hockey, Facebook.com, The Hockey Podcast, YouTube.com, The Hockey Podcast, and subscribe wherever you can get your audio as well, as it is the Hockey Podcast News Pack for Wednesday, December the 1st. And we'll start with junior hockey today, as the Canada named their camp roster for the World Juniors. Goaltenders, they're going with 3. And it's Sebastian Cossa from the Edmonton Oil Kings, Dylan Garand from the Kamloops Blazers included in that. Defenseman Owen Power, the first pick taken from the in last year's draft by the Buffalo Sabres. Caden Gooley from the Prince Albert Raiders, reportedly, according to Frank Saravelli, could be on the move to the Edmonton Oil Kings as well. Olin Zellweger is included in that from the Everett Silvertips. Vincent Iorio as well. Brant Clark left off of the defense included in that list. Forwards include Connor Bedard, Mason McTavish, Cole Perfetti, Jake Neighbors, Dylan Gunther, Logan Stainkilven, to name a few. The rosters will be set on in about a week here, and then, of course, on the way to Edmonton with the 25-man roster starting on Boxing Day. So that will be exciting for all of that. Xavier Bourgeau, another name there. Few names left off the list. We will be having a podcast talking a little bit about the WHL prospects that are going into this camp. That will be on Friday, Saturday, to check that out there as well. As we'll have the third folks from the Third Line Pod, Liz and Jessica for sure will join. Maybe others will join as well. Let's go to the CHL top 10 rankings for week 9. I always like to touch on these as well. And for the second straight week, it's 4 WHL teams that are dominating the rankings. The Winnipeg Ice continue to be number 1. We have a new number 2 as the Kamloops Blazers defeated the Everett Silvertips on Saturday for Everett's first regulation loss. The Blazers have passed the Silvertips. They sit in 2. Silvertips 3. Jake Neighbors, Sebastian Cossa, and Dylan Gunther of the Edmonton Oil Kings are 4. The London Knights are ranked at 5. The Charlottetown Islanders 6. The Gatineau Olympiques 7. North Bay Battalion 8. Sherbrooke Phoenix number 9. Hamilton Bulldogs number 10. The 3 honorable mentions are the Kingston Frontenacs, Guelph Storm, and Quebec Remparts. 1 regulation got lost through 23 appearances for the Winnipeg Ice. And, of course, Matthew Savoy and Connor Geekie leading the way as well. Just so, again, another great week for WHL. And it's going to be interesting to see in terms of goal what will happen there with Cossa and Garand as well, because I think probably both have very good arguments to be number 1. And I goaltending is a strength, I think, for the Canadian World Juniors, but we'll talk about that more on Friday. For the 3 stars of the month have been named, and Oilers forward Leon Draisaitl is the number 1 star. He had 15 goals and 27 points, 8 power play goals across 13 appearances for the Oilers. It's a 9-4 November, and he scored 10 of 13, 9 multi-point performances, 6 games with at least 3 points. So Leon Draisaitl continuing to lead the way for the Edmonton Oilers, named first star. Second star is Jack Campbell from the Toronto Maple Leafs. He went 9-2 in 11 appearances. He leading all goaltenders in wins for the month. Save percentage 9.59. Goals against average 1.27. The Leafs are currently 16-6-1 and for 33 points. Remember when they wanted to run everyone out of town in October, by the way? Now everyone wants to stay in town. And of course, he's also tied for second behind the Flames' Jacob Markstrom in shutouts as well. There with five, Markstrom has 5, and then Campbell's behind him there as well. And we also have third star as Nazim Cadre, a guy I don't think we're talking enough about, by the way. 2.10 points per game, 21 points in 10 games, leading all players in assists, second in power play assists with 7, assists 17, third in overall points 21. The Avalanche are now 11-6-1, 7-2-1 in November. He collected points in all but one of his 10 appearances. He became the first Colorado player to average 2 points per game in a calendar month since Joe Sakic in March of 2000. 7 multi-point performances as well as with 4 outings with at least 3 points. Kadri has been a quiet little story in Colorado. When Nathan MacKinnon has been out, Kadri has carried the load. MacKinnon is back tonight, by the way, as we'll get to the games here of the day. We got Colorado facing Toronto, of course. It's Kadri versus Matthews and Gang as one of the games today. We also got, as well, going through the lineup here as well. Sorry, just having a little bit of computer issue. Philadelphia, who did say yesterday no changes in the coaching staff to be made. They're facing the Rangers. We got the Vancouver Canucks and Ottawa. Kraken facing the Red Wings. By the way, Lucas Raymond named Rookie of the Month for November. Vegas Golden Knights and Anaheim in an interesting Pacific Division matchup there. Crosby versus McDavid tonight, as well as Pittsburgh is taking on the Edmonton Oilers. We in Toronto, back to the Leafs here for a quick moment. They have placed player tonight on waivers for contract termination. That's Kirill Semenov, 27 years old, went out without a point in 3 games. He has a 1-year, $825,000 contract after 8 seasons in the KHL. He had 10 goals and 26 points in 60 games with Omsk Avangard last season. He had 1 goal and 9 points in 9 games with the Toronto Marlies, but the Leafs have decided to move on from him. Of course, as mentioned, Nathan MacKinnon back with the Avalanche tonight. The New York Islanders will be back at practice. They've had games postponed due to COVID. They are scheduled to host the Sharks on Thursday, and it looks like things are on the go there. With that they are able to go. They had 6 players on protocol after a 1-0 loss to the Penguins on Friday. 5 of them practiced. Anders Lee, Josh Bailey, Ross Johnston, as well as Andy Green and Adam Pelech. Zdeno Chara, Kiefer Bellows, and Casey Kazikas remain in protocol. And in terms of anything else that is going on here, just make sure that we have everything on the list here as I go through. Tonight, of course, we are doing our podcast with Graham Mosiman. A couple of other stories I missed from yesterday. It's Rod Brindamore fined for $25,000 for inappropriate conduct against the Washington Capitals in regards to a conversation he had with the referee. If you go on Twitter, I think that is going out. The fine money does go to the NHL Foundation. And Jack Hughes, we'll talk about this more today. He signed a 8-year contract with the New Jersey Devils worth $8 million. He just getting back in the lineup yesterday after missing 17 games with injury. 8 years, $64 million contract for Jack Hughes, 20 years old. He is in the final season of his 3-year contract and on to his next one. He had scored 20 goals and 35 assists and 55 points in 120 games so far in his young career. So that's the news for today. Again, tonight we're going live with Graham Mosman. We're going to talk about those Edmonton Oilers. Where is the parade being handled out to? I kid and I jest there. We'll talk about how the Oilers are doing, and we'll always enjoy our chats with Graham. And we have no idea what's going to happen because I set an agenda. We just fly all over the place. So join us for that. And again, on Friday, we'll have our WHL conversation in regards to the World Juniors as well. But follow Sean on Twitter, Beardy Canuck 03, Tyler TNOBLE, Schneids, Chris is Schneids, SCHNAIDZ, Devin Gordhow 09. I am Kevin, KEVOLE, podcast_hockey, Facebook.com, The Hockey Podcast, YouTube.com, The Hockey Podcast. Subscribe to the audio. Thanks for listening to and watching the news pack. We'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.